So, Jack, if you were to rank the people in the documentary in order of credibility, where would you put Gene Deal?
Let me give you my lineup. I'll be sure, Ashley, Gene Deal, and then you can do what you want to do with the rest of them.
That's a great answer.
Jess is wondering, talk about the guy who remained anonymous in the documentary. It sounded like Courtney. Who was that guy?
That was not Courtney and it wasn't Little Rod. But if it is who I think it is, out of respect for him and his family, I won't even think about trying to remember his name because he had footage from inside the studio. And they just showed that clip. I'm sure there's a lot more.
So Sonia's wondering your thoughts on how Diddy might feel about Cassie now having a beautiful family. Do you think she will finally be left in peace?
Well, I mean, I think it would be wise for people to go back and watch his acceptance speech on BET for his Lifetime Achievement Award when Young Miami was there as his paramour, holding a banner that says "Go Daddy,"
He thanks her.
and he
Mhm.
didn't thank
Dark times.
her. He thanked Cassie
For holding it
for
down.
holding him down through the dark times after she had moved on and married and started a family. Is everyone forgetting how people were saying how Diddy was still approaching Cassie as if they were still in a relationship after she had left him while she was with Mr. Fine, her husband? You heard about that, right? Like he was still pretending, he was still including her in posts while she was a married woman. And people kept, even 50 Cent said something to say about it. Man, when's the time to let go? He said, I don't know when I feel like letting go. He said he bragged about still going after Cassie while she was newly married and it just had a baby. They're like, but they married, they have a baby. He's like, well, it's my girl. That's how he was still referring to her. And if we pay attention to what the documents in the lawsuit said, after she left him, he came and he assaulted her one more time. So I want you to think about all of that. And now let's rewind 30 years and think about the story my friend Albert just told you about what Diddy did to him and his wife. And even though he went through all of that trouble to claim Kim away from Albie Shore, he still turned around and got their other friend Sarah pregnant while him and Kim were together, which is why the twins and Chance are so close in age. He was sleeping with all of the friends, and he was friends with all of their boyfriends and husbands. I don't know. That to me is a clear line of that's behavior. That's calculated behavior that's been going on for 30 years. This man does not know how to take no for an answer. This man must have what else. Did you ever see the Count of Monte Cristo?
I read it.
Thinking about this story now, it makes me think about that. Whether you read it or whether you saw the film, any one of them, there was one line when Count Mondego, because it was Edmond Dantes and Count Mondego. And Count Mondego was the wealthy son of, nobility. And Edmond Dantes was a hardworking guy who was working his way up in the world the honest way. He was in love with a beautiful woman. And every time Edmond turned his back, Fernand is sitting there all up in Mercedes' face. You're gonna be mine one day. You don't want to be the wife of a ship hand. I'm noble, and you should leave him for me. And whoopty whoopty woo. And she looked at him and she said, "Do you remember when we were children? And you got a pony for Christmas, and Edmond got that whistle, and Edmond was so happy with his whistle that it pissed you off, and you didn't even appreciate the horse you had just gotten." And she looked at him in the story and says, "Fanon, I am not going to be your new whistle." And what did he do? He turned around, set his friend up, let him go to jail for the rest of his life for a crime he didn't commit that he set up. And what did he end up having for all of that time? He had Mercedes, and he had the child that he posed as his family, his son, his wife, and he made it seem like he did the noble thing because his friend was unalive. And so he came in and then they had a baby. Turns out it was Edmond baby all along. Now, whether he knew it was Edmond's baby or not, who knows? But what mattered to him was being able to take the one thing that made another human being so happy. And guess what? He wasn't happy for long either. He was running around cheating on Mercedes with every woman and whore in Paris and all of that. He went through all of that to get it.